I'll be the car, baby.
This is the illegal size paper.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's do this, guys.
You ain't been coming at me if you realize you got some big paper, girl.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Netflix Explorers podcast, the podcast where we dive deep into these movies so you don't have to, from the 1890 studios. My name is Dale.
It was a tough journey, but Adam the gutter rat drove here and made it through the 294 traffic and rain. I'm Adam.
And this is Patrick, and I bet you know who my favorite magician is.
Hey, everybody, Steve here. I have no idea what that means.
We're going over
David Copperfield.
Benchwarmers 1922 and the founder. If you guys could, please stick around. Hello! We got a packed studio. Papa Steve is back.
Hey, everybody. Glad to be here. Thanks for inviting me back. Hey to everybody in the studio audience and those on the live feed.
I think, Papa
always good to
Steve,
see you guys.
you could be on a record in your consecutive cast
You
appearances.
Oh, man. That's awesome.
So we
That guy over there's got a sign that says Podfather.
Nice.
I love the Podfather.
Yeah. So we're glad to have you, man. Glad you could make your
Thanks for
record.
inviting me back, guys.
Patrick, you made it here, no problems. Not like Adam. He had rain, traffic, etc.
Well, I kind of got caught by one of those region trains, but it was no big deal.
This is the
Part
worst.
of the region. It's
You know,
day to day.
You would know,
Just pride and parcel.
right? And Adam, I'm of course real happy you made it.
Yeah.
It was tough.
Yeah, well, had to drive like a gutter rat, getting off on the exits and then getting back on. But
You're the people everyone on the road just despises.
I told you know what, I had a cast today, and today I was cashing in all my karma of good driving and being nice to people, and I just spent it all getting here. So,
Podcast karma.
yeah,
Can't beat that.
got a lot of middle fingers on the way here, but
It's all worth it.
I am where I'm here. So, how you doing, man?
Dude, it's good. I'm glad.
I'm glad you made it.
Yeah, well, I've been here.
Yeah,
Kind of holding down. I sit in the studio and wait for people to join me. I don't leave here. I stay in this seat.
you're our leader. You are the Mel Gibson of our Broken Arrow, where you're the first man in the field and the last man off.
Broken Arrow.
Yeah.
I just sit in the lobby and watch people go in and out the elevators. I think that's a blast.
Yeah, it's a very exciting office here. We're at the 1890 studios. We got a bunch of, we got some big names coming in. Steven Seagal he canceled, though. I guess he's trying to put on a fight with George Foreman.
I don't know if that's still on. We were talking about that before the cast. I think he bailed.
Okay.
Was it?
I hear Amazon's moving in upstairs.
Yeah, well, they want to bring us in, but I said no, we're not moving from the 1890. So they're putting a few interns here, kind of building an office around the 1890 studios, kind of encompassing us a little bit.
This podcast is brought to you by Amazon.
Yes, thank you, Jeff Bezos, the new richest man in the world. Actually,
Is it?
yes, he's the richest man in the world.
So they reported their Q3 earnings, and they were through the roof. Stock went up through the roof. Overnight, he added $6 billion to his net worth.
And that's kind of like when people.
Can you believe that?
That's why we want to send you guys to the 1890studios.com, because that's how much our podcast makes. If you guys just subscribe on iTunes, $6 billion per episode. That's usually our budget,
Yeah.
right?
It's a lot of ET, but we consume it and then we give it back.
Right. We're giving it back to you, back to the people.
And
You know,
we,
if we
and
just
we
had,
jump buy things on Amazon
Well,
and
yeah.
make Jeff Bezos more money.
right,
If we just had 6 billion people give us $1 each.
they'd be easy.
Well, you got to split it 4 ways. So how much is it? After that?
I'm not picky.
I could still do
3
that.
ways is
All right.
fine. I don't care.
Okay.
Guys, we got Benchwarmers. We got 1922. We got the founder. Who built this docket? Is it back to you, AP?
It's back to me.
I am loving the docket, man. Enjoyed all these films.
Someone substituted Benchwarmers. Was that your call? That was your call, right?
No, it wasn't me. No, it was.
It was
48 was on, and then
42.
42,
42?
whatever, and then it wasn't there.
I read the news and forgot it came out today. But
Right, yeah, you're the news guy and you forgot about it. No, but that was a good pick, man. Again, Benchwarmers 1922 and the founder. Okay, somebody got an email. Good. It's probably just people subscribing. So, first one up is Benchwarmers 2006 film. It got a 5.6 on IMDb. It's an action comedy family film. Hour and 20-minute runtime, 33 million bones. at the box office. Is the budget, and it made what, 57 mil. So not bad. Let's go ahead and roll the trailer, Adam.
From the sandlots of Topeka, Kansas, to the ivy-covered walls of Wrigley Field, the game of baseball has always been played with dignity and grace.
Ow! Dang it.
David
Until
Spade.
now.
Rob Schneider.
Meet Richie, Gus, and Clark.
Gus, can't hear us.
So he threw a rock into a lawnmower.
Never got respect
Clark the Dork and Richie Itchy.
until they took a stand
Hey, losers! Get off this field.
for the little guy.
Stop picking on that kid.
We have practice here, so go.
You want the field so bad? We'll play you for it.
But there are 9 of us and 3 of you. Time to meet your makers.
Makers of what? Poop?
Nice.
They couldn't hit.
Where's the strike zone?
Right there.
They couldn't catch.
Ow! Not so fast!
But real strength
Hey, don't make me come out there!
Come out here. I'll crush you.
Oh. He said it.
comes from the heart.
Yeah!
I have a sensational idea. I want to start a
John
tournament
Lovitz.
with you 3 incredible gentlemen. If we can beat all the mean teams from around the state, then kids like Nelson and his buddies will get respect. Let's teach those little bullies a lesson.
1, 2, 3.
Nice Foo Fighters trailer music.
You tools think you're athletes now?
That's funny. I didn't know athlete had 3 syllables. Athlete, that's amazing.
It's Reggie Jackson.
He agreed to come and help us run some drills.
This drill is for hand-eye coordination. This is for your
Blasted
catch and
mailboxes.
release skills.
Rob Schneider.
No.
David Spade.
Release.
John Heater. The Benchwarmers.
Oh! That's my Miata!
My bad.
Dude, that was Dale's favorite line of the movie.
Best line in the whole movie. That's my Miata. Dude, that just cracked me up as a 6-time Miata owner.
Yes.
Oh, that was great. Again, 2006 film. It got on a 5.6. I honestly think that's where it needs to be, but Papa Steve, Benchwarmers, you're not a you're not a Adam Sandler produced guy.
It's a Happy Madison.
Happy
film.
Madison, which is it's Adam Sandler's production company.
Right.
You don't like the style.
I could barely
In fact,
watch.
I was listening to the November 1st podcast, and you said on there specifically, maybe it was before that, but Patrick was looking through the movies, and he typed in Adam to find an Adam-style movie, and you said out loud, I hope you skipped Adam Sandler. And I went, oh, boy, we got Benchwarmers coming up in 2 weeks. And
This was basically what Napoleon Dynamite meets like Bad News Bears or something.
I want to touch on John Heater. Heater?
I think it's Heater.
I want to touch on John Heater's character in a little bit, but so you're just not a fan? Just not a fan of the style, or just don't like the characters?
It was for 10-year-olds. It's farts and poop and burps and okay,
Right.
it's okay. I get
Yeah.
it. But then I got out of
good
junior
jokes.
high, and then it wasn't funny
Right,
anymore.
right. Okay. All right, I gotcha. P-Funk, looking at you, man. Dislike, like, what do you think?
No, I love this movie. I loved it back in when I was 15. And I loved it back when I was 28. I mean, I'm a big poop joke guy, so give it to me all day.
Big poop joke guy.
What? So, like, dive into that.
Dive into that poop.
Talk to me about poop jokes.
Well, let me jump in feet first, so I don't get my head all dirty. But no, I don't know. Something about poop just always makes me laugh.
I mean, it's a silly humor. It's it's not it's kind of slapsticky.
It's kind of like a turn your brain off and just watch the movie
Sure.
and take it for what it is.
Is it a VATCOM? Can we say it's a VATCOM?
No, it takes brain power to vacuum. You
Okay.
gotta like navigate between the couches.
Right.
But this one,
It's a tax com. Do your taxes while you watch.
Okay.
Yep.
Nice.
Maybe
So,
I was just in the
let me add it to
wrong
the glossary.
place for it.
maybe it's a time and place style
but
film.
maybe it was a time and place, and I just wasn't in that place. But it's like, oh man, and well, I don't know how far we're gonna dig into it right now, but
Well, I'm going to hand it over to Adam. Adam, break it down. Did you like this one or didn't you like this one?
I like this one.
Why do you like it? We're trying to break down to why this one's good.
Well, I think I'm kind of in the same boat as Patrick. When it came out, my brother and I watched it. We had this is back when you had DVD, and
Sure.
we had the Benchwarmers DVD, and we watched it probably half a dozen times, me and him, and we just thought it was hilarious, and it was kind of something we watched together. And when I watched it now, I'm that brings back kind of memories like that. So it was
Okay.
it was yeah. I think it's just you gotta be time and place.
Right.
Very stupid.
Yeah.
Very stupid humor.
Yeah.
It's it's Big Daddy. It's Adam Sandler.
Well, it's a Happy Gilmore. It's
Yeah.
definitely the Waterboy. It's
Yeah.
got the Waterboy style. I mean,
if you're not in the time and place for it, it could
Right.
it could
but
be.
you know
very,
what?
very
I
annoying.
think, and this is where I think Papa Steve is going to take that fork in the road, and we're going to take the other ones. Nostalgia for this style of humor. We're growing up on Adam Sandler stuff and this type of humor. Rob Schneider. This has the whole crew from that, the Happy Madison crew. I mean, it had your David Spade, it had your Rob Schneider, it had who was the coach? Not the coach. The umpire was the guy with the crazy eye with in Waterboy.
Steve Buscemi?
No.
No, the guy's man, they go,
Exactly.
Yeah,
he was the umpire.
Yeah.
So they just brought in all their classic, their actors they got on reserve, and they just called them all up for another great run.
right.
but even so David Spade, Rob Schneider, John Lovitz. I mean, if you're into that, okay. I mean, people can differ on that, right? But it didn't even seem like they were up to their wacky whatever standards
Could
are.
not disagree with you more. I loved every minute of this film.
They weren't.
I
They were.
thought
They
it
were
was-
like they. It seemed like they phoned it in. They weren't.
Right.
They weren't all
No.
like David Spade is all wacky and right, but he was only half wacky.
I'm gonna. You know what? I'm gonna give you that. I totally agree. It's like they got the script yesterday and they said, "Hey, we're filming this tomorrow. You want in?" They're like, "Yeah, this could be really funny." But it was only. You only got half of a John Lovitz. You only got half of David Spade. I think David Spade, he's a greater actor than I think a lot of people give him credit for. He plays a certain kind of character well, but this one he didn't really get into, like you're saying, 100%.
And Rob Schneider was supposed to be the straight man.
Right.
Well, he's never the straight man.
Exactly.
He's always the goofy guy, so it was almost hard to...
It's like Adam Sandler turned down. He's like, I can't make it.
I'm going to disagree with you on David Spade. I thought he had some of the best one-liners. His one-liners in this movie made me laugh harder than anything else.
Well, he did great, but I don't think we got full David Spade on this one. I'll go with Papa Steve. I don't think we got full David Spade.
Well, he's not. He's a supporting David Spade. He's not a leading man Spade.
Right.
Okay, I'll get
That's
you
true. Okay, valid.
This is one of the rarities. I'll back you up, Adam. I'm going to have to agree with Adam on this one. It was... David Spade had the one-liners, like he said, he was a supporter one, and then I know I was reading through or researching the notes for this one, and they casted David Spade and Rob Schneider in the same movie for this one so they could crush the beef that they had at the time. I'm not sure what caused it, but that's when I was reading through, Adam Sandler was the one who was doing all the casting for it, and that's why they casted these two in these two roles.
But you don't know what the beef was?
Yeah, I don't know what was causing the rift in the
really
David Spade.
Maybe one gave
Rob
one,
Schneider.
the other one like a wedgie or something.
Yeah, Wet
That'd
Willie,
be
maybe?
perfect
Yeah.
for this movie because
Yeah.
if they started it with that.
All
that'd be
right.
I think David, I wrote down some of David Spade's one-liners because I loved him so much. He's like, they're telling his brother Howie, Nick Swardson.
Yes.
Oh,
and,
man.
and he was like, "Yeah, man, we played an actual game. It was awesome. We beat these kids, and I hit a foul, dude. It was sick. And they call this kid this. Oh yeah, easy, son of Satan. Just he's got great. I don't know. I liked him.
He did. Yeah, he was a cool character.
I like Joe Dirt.
Okay.
I liked that was a good movie, perfect for David Spade.
Right.
But
Tommy Boy.
yeah, a movie with a lot of David Spade, kind of like. He's
He's
got
a great
different feel.
supporter.
He's a great supporter. He's a great assist man, and that's
Right.
what he was in this movie. So,
Before we go on, John Heder, being the Napoleon Dynamite, can he please drop that? Unless that's all he's got.
dude,
That is
as much as I liked Rob Schneider and David Spade in this movie, he just I don't know what happened to him.
where is Napoleon Dynamite in the release date? It's got to be close to 2006.
Definitely.
No, dude, I think it's like 2003, 2004.
Well, anyway, so he's still living
That's
on
close.
that.
That's
He's
close.
still living on that Napoleon Dynamite voice, and he's you're consulting the Book of Knowledge over there. But he just annoyed me to no end. That John Heater.
I agree. It annoyed me as well. Like,
But during the movie, I feel like he was really limited to not so much as one-liners, but like, all right, we're going to give him 3 seconds here, skip back to Rob Schneider,
Right.
3 seconds, back to Rob Schneider.
And if you're a casting director and you're going, who's the dopiest, kind of like nerdiest person? Well, Napoleon Dynamite was nerdy. Well, what's John Heater doing tomorrow? Because we're going to shoot
Napoleon
tomorrow.
Dynamite was 2004.
Okay, so he's still coming down from that. Yeah, 2 years. I don't know. It bothered me. But either way, those are the characters. What about product placement? You guys notice any of this?
Yeah, what was it? I can't remember the.
Well,
internet browser,
Pizza Hut.
but-
Now,
Pizza
what was
Hut.
very and Pepsi as well. What was very funny was in Happy Gilmore. He goes, "Man, all I really want is a nice, crisp," and then it cuts cold cut combo.
Yeah.
And he's holding
Yeah,
the Subway sandwich, and in this one, he's like, "You know what, guys? The best thing to do after a baseball game is." Go to Pizza Hut.
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
all go like, yeah. And there's a beautiful pan of a Pizza Hut sign. I was like, good Lord, is this a commercial?
Yeah.
And it went on throughout.
Not only that, because it's like nerds versus jocks throughout the movie, and they were
Right.
doing a podcast of the actual live baseball game, and they cut to one of the nerds, in quotes,
Well, yeah.
their
Look at
laptop,
us.
and it had a big fat Net Zero.
Oh, it was
Logo
and in
on
the
it.
stadiums they played at, Net
Yeah.
Zero was everywhere and perfectly framed and shot.
That I was looking, I was like, I wonder what Net Zero stock is at. It's at $3 a share right now, so it's basically a penny stock. So if you want to go get some Net Zero, and
They're coming back. They're
right
going to have a
into the garbage
resurgence.
can.
After this podcast, I mean,
We're going to bring him back.
yeah.
Jeff Bezos, if you're listening.
Net Zero.
John Lovitz. We're going back to characters for a second. John Lovitz, again, great guy, but we only got 50% of him.
Exactly.
John, that's the dad.
Yes,
the really
the
rich
dad. He's like, that's when I made.
Dude, I liked him too. I thought he was.
he did great, and he's a great actor.
Yeah.
But we didn't get all of him. He could be so much more.
Yeah, like Nick Swartzen. Like he goes on the bus, and Nick Swartzen's character is like, "The sun's bad." He's like, "Ha ha! Oh, Howie, you're a freak!" And like I just like that I laugh. Like he's got like 3 lines in the movie that I laugh at every time.
Right.
I'm
Like,
just
'cause-
one of those nerds that grew up to be a
Billionaire.
Right.
Build a stadium. I only got $1 billion on me. You know, he's
Yeah,
got-
it was great. Yeah, I know. He did. He nailed what he had. Again,
Like,
I
he
think
knew
he was.
it was-
I think he was handed a script the night before, and he's reading, kind of chuckling. He's like, "Yeah, what do we want me to shoot at 9 a.m. tomorrow? All right, I'll be there."
He knew it was a stupid movie, and he made it like more stupid. Like
Right.
he fit the vibe perfectly.
I did SNL off of cue cards and ad lib. I can do this.
Exactly. Yeah. Also, he wears a Audemars Breguet watch. If you guys are looking at watches, also there is a umpire who is wearing a black dial sub, 2nd gen sub
Very nice.
with date. So
Thanks for bringing us the watchability.
also,
Good eye.
There's a watch ability in there.
Hey.
So
Wow.
we got a Rolex, so we got Audemars Breguet, we got an AP as we call it in the business. But yeah, I mean, it's a feel-good film. It's, got the good story. It's got the good message. It's actually, I thought, pounded it home more than a lot of Adam Sandler style films. There's a overly feel-good and like an super anti-bully.
But it takes that one dip at a point, like all these Adam Sandler comedies that they got to take their real quick left turn, and then they go down like, oh, well, that's sad. But then it comes right back up.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
And
Saves the day, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I got that far.
Oh, you bailed out. You
you
have
I
robbed it?
bailed.
Oh, yeah.
Missing
Oh, I
out.
totally bailed.
I thought it was good. I mean, it was...
I'd go out on a limb and say this was better than Ting 432.
Oh!
But that's just me. That's just me. I don't know about you guys.
Wow. The crowd agrees with you.
Most obvious thing ever said on this podcast, but whatever.
I mean, so Adam, anything else to add?
No, man, I think we can go right into
Rewatch and recommend?
doing our stuff.
What about, what do you think, Adam? Rewatch, recommend?
Yeah, I think rewatchability is really high for me. Like I said, I watched this a lot with my brother. I texted him while I was watching it again. I was like, "Hey, watching Benchwarmers, great movie." He's like, "One of the best out there, man." You know, it's
sending it.
He's just sending it. You know, so I sent it on this movie. But yeah, so rewatchability for me is very high. Recommend is high. Keep in mind, it's like stupid. It's just so stupid.
It's slapstick. It's your Adam Sandler.
I love stupid comedy.
Sure.
Though. So that's me. And if you like stupid comedy, check it out for sure.
Patrick, rewatch, recommend The Benchwarmers.
Yes and yes. I can't recommend this movie enough. It's hysterical. As long as you come into it with your brain turned off and you're not going to diagnose it like, well, obviously this isn't how baseball's played. You got to
Right.
suspend a little bit of that.
You can't play baseball with 3 people,
Yeah.
which is another great thing. In it.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love it. Like I was so excited when we axed 42 to watch this. I was
Right.
like, well, we're waxing one baseball movie, but we're getting another great, much better baseball movie.
Papa Steve, you've heard from the millennials, man. Rewatch, recommend for The Benchwarmers.
You know, I'm gonna cut you a little bit of slack just because I might not have been in the right place to watch it. This genre isn't my favorite thing, but I understand. Sometimes you got to be in that thing. But for me, no, I couldn't. I couldn't even get through it.
Can't rewatch?
No,
You couldn't watch?
no,
Can't recommend?
nope.
Well, I'm agreeing with the other millennials here. I'm going to rewatch as soon as I can.
When do we become millennials?
We're all millennials.
No, we're not.
Yeah, we are.
No, we're not.
Yes.
No, we're not.
Yeah.
No.
Great debate. When do millennials start?
1981.
What?
Born in 1981.
No.
There's early. Yes, there. We're
Get
going to
the-
stop the podcast to do this?
Get the book of knowledge.
Well, I will dispute the official record of who considers people millennials.
I'll grant you that the millennials, in
There's
quotes,
early millennials.
start as 81.
Yes.
but I don't think
Listen
you
to
can categorize us as millennials.
I don't think so either, and I'll tell you why. There's early millennials and there's late millennials. There's the internet was part of your life from day one, and smartphones, which started in later on.
81 and 97.
Bingo. Thank
Again,
you, Papa
I will
Steve.
grant you that it technically starts
Wrong.
at 81, but I wouldn't categorize myself as
and I would never.
What would you be then? Gen X?
I'm a Z for sure.
Oh,
no,
jeez.
wait, baby boomer. I'll be a baby boomer.
I pride myself. We're the last generation to grow up without the internet. And I think
We are early. We are early millennials. That is a subgroup.
that's because we had AIM when we were like in middle school.
Yeah, even late middle school, I will say.
Yeah.
But anyway, but that's we're early millennials. I'll give it that. I'm not downplaying us at all. This is where we're at. We have no choice.
Shiva.
But anyway, I'm on board with the other younger people here from this generation.
Some other generation that will remain nameless.
Right. But yeah, so I would rewatch and I would recommend. I thought it was fun to watch, and I want other people to have fun while watching it, so I'll recommend it. Adam, can you bring us on Liquor Store Aisle, my friend?
Oh yeah, Liquor Store Aisle. So it's real stupid, but I love it. So I'm gonna say Clan McGregor.
Nice.
Nice.
It's bottom shelf.
It's bottom
but
shelf.
it goes down smooth.
But it goes down smooth. Dude, this podcast is brought to you by Clan McGregor.
Clan McGregor, everybody.
If I had any more ice in my glass, it would shimmy.
Get drunk, you bastard.
Where is
Clan McGregor.
Where is Gary?
Patrick, bring us on Liquor Store Aisle.
I was gonna say Clan too because
Oh, nice.
I love Clan. Adam stole my drink for the first time in a long time. Are you gonna go with the microphone or what's going on? You got to cue it up.
I'm just standing by.
Wait.
Stand by for what?
Just waiting for the right time to strike.
Oh, jeez. Well, I'm gonna quickly pass it to Papa Steve before I get struck down.
Papa Steve, bring us on Liquor Store
You
Aisle.
bastard.
Bring us down the Liquor Store Aisle for Benchwarmers.
Well, I thought a good drink for this would be some.
Old Granddad.
No, it doesn't even deserve that.
Oh,
I would have some weak watered down Kool-Aid and some weak watered down grape Kool-Aid where you put in twice the water that was recommended, and you can't even give yourself like a grape mustache.
Is Adam Sandler serving you this drink at this point?
Doesn't matter.
Make it that bad.
The bartender doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
I just got regular old lemonade. It's just super sweet. It's nostalgic. You take a sip, it reminds you of being a child. But I will say that drinking too much of this is a bad thing. Too much.
See, you
lemonade.
guys got the whole nostalgia thing working
That's-
for you that I don't.
It's true.
Your funny bone's way too intelligent for us.
Well, no, but see, if I grew up with whatever something,
Yeah, Happy Gilmore and
right? Let's say you know
yeah.
Happy Gilmore. I go, guys, this thing is great, and you guys, that movie's freaking lame. But I watched it with my buddies, and we all grew up watching it, and
Right.
I have fun times associated with it. Let's just say, so I could see why you would have that.
Did you not grow up with poop jokes?
dude, poop jokes weren't.
We didn't have poop, couldn't afford it.
Well, I think we've got to recommend this based on generation then.
Okay.
Sure. I would say
All right.
it's a millennial style movie, but I don't want to get attacked by half of the
Hey,
table.
whoa.
It is generational, and so if you're like older than 10, you probably won't like it.
Well, that's what Papa Steve thinks. Let's hop into the movie 1922. It's a recent one, 2017 film. 6.5 IMDb. This is a crime drama horror. Hour 42, Patrick. This one really, I don't know, did it drag for you?
Well, when you think about the hour 42, I think that includes credits because I've been
Right.
thinking
Was it a long
about it.
credit?
No, it was like 5 minutes of credits. So
Okay.
when you cut that out, it makes wheelhouse. But if it went over, I'd still watch it.
Real question. Did you fall asleep in the middle of it? Because the last few episodes, you've been falling asleep in the middle of films.
No. This one I made it through. This one had me.
Had you hooked?
I was going to say, you better watch. It was close enough to the wheelhouse.
All right. Tell you what, Adam, go ahead, roll the trailer.
Don't tell me what to do.
Okay. Do whatever you would feel right in your heart.
Just did it once.
Well, I mean,
Dude, my thumb is too big for the iPad.
it's an iPad. It's almost 13 inches wide.
I need a 15er.
And so was your son. My wife. She wanted us to leave all this behind.
So that's Thomas Jane of The Mist.
You mean Jackie Sharp of House of Cards?
Okay.
We both know that's what you want.
Oh, no. Thomas Jane's the male. She's in
Life
House
is
of Cards as well.
Fair.
Correct. You are
Especially
correct.
out here.
You're correct.
And I believe that there's another man. Inside every man. A conniving man.
I'm gonna sell. You, my son, are coming with me.
This is our house. In 1922, I murdered my wife.
Based on a novella by Stephen King.
Want a glass of lemonade, Sheriff?
Can I look in the house?
She only took the one suitcase.
Woman, that'd be crazy to leave a nice house like this one.
She's dead in the well.
She's dead as Julius Caesar.
Your darkest secrets never stay buried.
You touch me! You cursed it all!
I hope there is no God. Because if there is no heaven, and there is no hell.
That's music.
Only on Netflix. It is a Netflix original, 1922. It is a simple yet proud farmer in the year 1922 conspires to murder his wife for financial gain, convincing his teenage son to participate.
Which is messed up.
Dude, Papa Steve, I'm sending it right to you. Did you like this one?
It was okay.
Okay. Agreed. I think it was great, but
I wouldn't put it in the great category.
Okay.
I thought it was okay.
Well, here's what I thought it was great, and I had trick-or-treaters coming to my house. Kind of timed the podcast a little bit. Trick-or-treaters were still coming. I said, Julie, you deal with the trick-or-treaters. I got to watch this movie. I thought this was so good. Why was it meh for you?
Because, again, I always go back to I want the movies to make me feel something. And I'm not a huge horror guy. I'm not a big fan of horror type
The
stuff.
horror's written down here. I don't know if horror.
It was creepy.
Call it a psychological thriller.
Okay, all right.
whatever.
It was a mental. It was in the main character's head.
Sometimes you see them and go, ooh.
Ew.
But it wasn't. It was good. I liked the movie. I liked the character. I liked the way it was shot.
Right. Right. I got things to say on that too.
But it didn't. The volume wasn't turned up on whatever it was supposed to be doing. Was it supposed to frickin' keep me up at night because it was so in my head? It wasn't real gory, there was blood and chainsaws and stuff like that.
Right.
So I didn't really know what I was supposed to be feeling, so then that's what makes me say, meh.
Right.
It was good. I liked it, but it wasn't dude, this
It didn't
is
give you
frickin'
a
awesome.
concrete genre to hop onto.
Right.
It was just kind of out there.
Right. It almost felt like it was heavily edited. And maybe I missed some meat in there somewhere. So it was edited for TV. So I got the gist of it.
It was edited for the Wheelhouse.
Yeah, edited for the
It was edited for the Wheelhouse. So I got the gist of it. I saw it, and it was cool and interesting and everything. But it was lacking something that made me go, holy crap.
Yeah,
this movie's freaking awesome.
It lacked the meat, type of thing. It didn't really lock you in.
Exactly.
Patrick, 1922. Did you like this one? Didn't like it? Hated it? Loved it? What's going on?
I did like this movie. So Netflix did 2 Stephen King novels this year.
Okay.
And then Stephen King also had the It movie come out, the clown movie.
What was the other Stephen King besides this one?
Gerard's Game?
Gerard's Game?
Yeah, Gerard Butler's Game, but minus the butler.
Minus the butler.
Yeah, so this is the third Stephen.
I'm confused. Is Gerard Butler in this movie?
Not in this one, and not in the other one, and not in It. But he shares the same name with the other Netflix.
His first
movie.
name is the same name as a Stephen King
So
one.
he's got nothing to do with this movie.
Oh, disappointing.
Nothing in the sense that he wasn't in it, but in the sense that he does have a name that shares the title.
So go on. You did like it?
Yeah, I'm a big Stephen King guy.
Okay.
So I like his movies. I like his books. So I like all that. And I thought this was a pretty spot on.
Just not his recent tweets, but moving
disgusting.
on. Moving on.
But yeah, no, this movie I really liked it. I thought it was pretty good.
Okay. Why? I mean, why? What
Why?
was it? Would it thrill you? Was it? They have
suspenseful.
Okay, they had
thriller.
horror written down. Can we? Is it horror?
I would deem it
Because I don't like horrors, but I loved this.
Technically, I say technically it's a horror.
Okay, on paper it's got the horror check marks.
I think it's not very scary, but it is a little scary actually. I think it's kind of creepy.
I mean, it puts you on edge, but I don't think it's horrifying. Horrifying. I don't think it fills me with horror. It filled me with strange circumstances, but I wasn't. Was it the trick or treaters coming to my house that kept my mind on the doorbell and stuff like that?
Yeah, see, I watched this after the trick or treating was over, so maybe that had something to do with it. But my other Val, she was tuned in for probably.
Wait.
She's not significant.
Wait. Your other? Let's try that again.
So is this a Lost reference or is this
my one true love?
okay.
Not Stannis.
Shout out to Val. No, keep going.
Welcome, Val.
Go ahead, Patrick.
So she didn't tune in for the first hour of this, but she was in for the second half-ish for this, and she's like, "This wasn't very good." I'm like, "Well, you didn't see the first half to set it all up, so I feel that if you miss the first part of this, you're not going to get the resolution."
It reminded me of the Edgar Allan Poe, I don't know if it's a short story or whatever it's called, The Telltale Heart, where he kills some dude, buries him in the floorboard, and he's talking about how cool he is, and, he just really has this thing dialed in, and nobody's going to figure it out, but then he starts hearing this heartbeat.
Right.
Obviously, it's all psychological, and he's freaking out. Maybe that's what happened, in this movie.
Sure.
But it reminded me of that. But this movie didn't have the horror of, like I said, just talking about it now gives me goosebumps thinking about it. That's what this movie lacked. That goosebumpy, holy crap feeling.
But it holds on to that same story. We watched the trailer, and he admits, which I'm going to talk about Thomas Jane a little bit, but in the trailer, like he even says, I murdered my wife. And then in the trailer, you see his, deceased wife, obviously beyond the grave, whether it's in his head, whether it's not, you kind of got to watch it. But she comes back to him, and in a couple different forms, again, the trailer shows a little bit, but as you said, as Edgar Allan Poe's story, it's the heartbeat. For Thomas Paine's character, it's a little bit different, but similar.
So was she really coming back, or was this all just in his head?
Right. But it is visually striking, I think.
Oh, no doubt. It was creepy as crap.
Yeah.
Sure.
So backing up a little bit, so Tom Jane plays a farmer in Nebraska. He's married with a son, 14-year-old son.
14 or
15-year-old son, and his and his wife have some issues. His wife wants to sell the farm. He doesn't want to sell the farm. Farming's all he knows. He wants to pass his farm on to his son. And very quickly he assumes the only way forward is to murder his wife, I'd say.
Like with his son.
Like with his son. And
Yeah.
he told his son, so him and his son murdered the wife so they can keep the farm and keep doing what they love to do, which is just work and have their own life and their own property and all that stuff. So
and before that though, there is like there's probably 30 minutes in the beginning of the film where the wife is going, we're going to get a divorce. Okay, that's out in the open. And the father tells the son that, and the father tells the son, hey, you're going to go to the city. You're going to go to the big city, Omaha. And you're going to go, you're going to go out and, you never know what the city's like, man. Being here and a man of the earth, this is what your future is. And so they're trying to sway the son to either, if we get a divorce and you go with your mom, you're going to be in the big city of Omaha in 1922, or you stay with me and we grow this, as a family, all this acreage.
I was going to say the quote is, "The city is for fools."
Okay.
And I just love that quote that he had.
Yeah.
5 minutes into the movie, because every time I look at the city, I'm like, what a bunch of foolish people living on top of each other.
Well, I mean, but that again, that's what's happening, and there's a big struggle in the beginning. But anyway,
you're not getting into Mantle territory there.
No, I don't think so. I think it's all pre. I mean, we talk about the murder of the mother, so I mean that's all trailer stuff.
The trailer,
but
right?
Anyway, Adam, go on.
Well, I think this movie does one thing really well and one thing not so well.
Poorly.
Thank you.
Sure.
So I think it does really good job of setting up the time period, 1922, almost 100 years ago now.
Yeah.
So they do a really good job. Tom Jane's character is his acting. Well, we'll circle back to his acting.
Okay.
But let's just say they do a really good job setting up the period, which I really enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that I didn't enjoy was, I think you were touching on that earlier, Papa Steve, was just that you're trying to make a creepy movie, but you didn't make it creepy enough. Right. There's one
danced around the creepy.
You danced around the creepy. You could have made basically he kills his wife and then bad things happen to him.
Sure.
That's kind of it, but you don't know what's behind the bad things. Is it just luck? Is it just happening? Is it his wife tormenting him from the grave? I don't think they set that up enough to really drive home.
They didn't
creepy.
make it deep enough.
They didn't make it deep enough.
Sure.
Like when she I don't want to give too much away, but there's a scene. If you look at the trailer, and there's a scene with some bloody legs walking down the stairs with some rats.
Ooh,
and you're like, ooh, that looks creepy.
He hates rats.
Why did it have to be rats? That scene right there is not. It could have set the movie up so much better, and it didn't.
Yeah.
So I think we were kind of touched on it earlier. Is it a book?
It almost
left stuff out, or
it almost made people assume is this supposed to be really, really bad and really, really scary? You're not picking up on it.
I'm just sitting there is this bad things happening to him because his wife is doing this from beyond the grave,
right.
or is it just
is she really coming back and doing this weird crap?
Or if you kill your own wife, this is the natural karma of life, and that's what happens to you.
Right.
Well, I don't know. Maybe I took this one a lot deeper than you guys did, and even though I had trick-or-treaters coming, I thought this one...
I like how you're like, Julie, tend to the children. Dude, I cannot be bothered.
That's where I was at. Julie was super excited to see the little costumes and see what everybody dressed up as. And I went...
How many trick-or-treaters do you have?
Many. I have 10 different little candies left.
I had to go back to Walgreens to get more bags.
So
And they
you
wiped
had-
us out.
So you couldn't have watched this one during the trick-or-treaters?
Oh, no, I watched it before.
Okay, good. Well, I had to watch it during. I'm going to battle you a little bit, Adam. I thought the intensity and the depth, even though every 15 seconds the doorbell was ringing and Indy was barking and my dog Indiana Jones. We named the dog Indiana.
The dog.
I
We
was
named the dog Indiana.
I was mentally, drawn to the front door. I still felt the intense weight of this movie. Now, the only thing that bugged me, and Adam, you touched on it just a second ago, was it set the timing of 1922, and people were struggling to make things work, and they were hustlers, and especially you're a farmer. You go year by year, and that's your livelihood. I don't know anything about how like not lyrically, but vocally these like people talked in the rural areas in 1922, but he talked exactly as Tom Hardy did in The Revenant. Did you get that accent at all?
He didn't open his mouth. Did you notice that? He's always clenching his teeth.
Like Tom Hardy in The Revenant.
Okay, well, that's kind of similar time period.
It's about 200 years too late.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
When was The Revenant taking place?
The Revenant was in when? It's the late 1700s?
I would say late 1800s.
I'd agree with you that it was Revenant-ish.
But still, that style was a New England meets French meets,
But you gotta think,
it was backwoods French.
So when you think about that, you have like the Civil War time, or not Civil, Revolutionary War. You have
Right.
like that accent. You have the French over here, and then you have like the Americans over on the East Coast. But they never really met. So
See, I think you're looking too much into it with the accent. I like the
no,
accent.
no. I like the accent, but I'm trying to defend it because Illinois is pretty like as a native Illinoisan.
So not from the region?
Region-esque.
No region. Huh?
Region,
okay.
region-esque.
Okay, go on. Go on about non-region. Go ahead.
Region-esque. We talked like, we talked down here, and,
That's not how we talk in the region.
But either way, okay.
either way,
maybe Adam's right here. It's
fit-
not.
it
Maybe
fit-
I'm dipping too much into.
Maybe
what
it was
his
just
accent
supposed to
was.
be a country accent.
No, not so much as country, but like Illinois was mostly French during the French-Indian War. It was mostly French during the Revolutionary War. So they had that hold your jaw still and then just talk with the back of your mouth.
Wasn't this in Nebraska though?
Yeah, but you got to think of it how the country prior to the Louisiana Purchase was divided. It was mostly French-Indian, French, American, but still
had that
Southern jaw.
right.
not
Okay.
moving
All
too
right.
much.
Well, either way,
That's
I just thought it was too early of an accent for him, and it just kind of it didn't seem hillbilly like you're an old farmer because that's how he appeared in the film and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It just seemed like too much. But anyway, he went to the Tom Hardy Revenant School of Accents, and it kind of frustrated me about his character. That's just all I got to say. It just rubbed me the wrong way, regardless of how this was a quote unquote horror film. I really thought, and again, I'm going to blame the trick-or-treaters. I think this one really had me locked in as far as being very, thrilling and suspenseful. And this character, Thomas Jane's character, really brought me for a ride, man. It's like right off the bat, and even in the trailer they show, I'm going to kill my wife, my boy is going to help me do it. Like, okay, wow, let's do this. That was 20 minutes in. We knew visually they pulled some shots. First of all, this looked gorgeous. It was shot digitally.
I like the way it was shot.
And they did a ton of dolly pull-ins and revealing dolly rollouts that like when they roll a camera over and an actor is behind a wall or hidden in a corner or kind of away from the rest of the cast, you see him separate. You feel him hiding. You feel him hidden. He's got something that the rest of the cast that was in the previous shot doesn't have. It built suspense in one dolly shot. Like maybe one or two dolly shots. You're like, Dude, this is deeper than I thought it was. And he said one line, and he never opened his mouth because he's got this weird Indian French accent that we don't know what era it's from.
I don't know where Indian French.
Well, I don't know. That's all Patrick.
He's just. I mean,
but either way, it brought this depth to Thomas Jane's character that whatever he had to say next, I was like, dude, this is gonna get crazy.
Yeah, I thought he did a great accent. I liked his acting. I thought this is one of his better films, to be honest.
And then we had the guy who's I don't want to say who he is because it might reveal a little bit about the story. His neighbor. How about that? What's his neighbor from? What's he?
Band of Brothers.
Band of Brothers, exactly. He was in Band of Brothers.
Yeah.
So that Band of Brothers guy didn't have any sort of accent like that. I don't know. I mean, we don't know his backstory so much, but he doesn't have that sort of accent. But either way, regardless of where his accent came from, that's 1922. It's just, it pulls you all over the place. This has got a little horror. It's got some thriller. It's got some suspense. What's going on? This thing's absolutely wild. I don't know if I want to go on the horror, aspect, but it's got some Edgar Allan Poe in it. Very cool. Very worth watching. Well, let's go on that. Papa Steve, send it to you for rewatch and recommend. What do you think, man?
I do not think I would rewatch it. I guess I would probably recommend it if I knew somebody was into it. I would probably recommend it.
Right.
But I don't.
Is it a Halloween-y type of film?
It could be.
Okay.
It could be.
We're a little late in the Halloween game, but I mean.
But if you're into that kind of thing, I'm not a huge horror guy.
Right.
I'll not typically pick those, but if you're into it, I said, dude, check out 1922.
Okay. Patrick, what about you, man? Rewatch and recommend.
So if I'm looking for a movie to watch in October 2018, and seeing as how this is a Netflix original, this is going to be on October 2018's Netflix lineup. I would definitely say check this out, check Babysitter out, check all those movies out. But this one...
The Babadook.
The Babadook. Oh, so good. I would definitely watch that. I would watch this, and then I would watch Babysitter in that sequence.
Okay. So
definitely rewatch, definitely recommend.
Rewatch, recommend. Adam, looking at you.
No.
No one, no.
No!
Why not?
Well, once through, I think everyone said no on rewatch.
One done.
But recommend, like, I don't think it has enough to be scary enough to recommend to horror people. I don't think it has enough to recommend to people who like dramas. I don't think there's. Basically, I thought the best part of the movie was Tom Jane and his accent, to be honest.
Okay.
Like I think without that accent and Tom Jane's acting, you got nothing.
Right.
So I don't think it checks any boxes enough to recommend or to rewatch.
I gotcha. Yeah, no, Thomas Jane's character, both with the accent and like who he is, definitely brings the story along. So as far as my rewatch and recommend, rewatching, I think this movie has a ton of weight to it, and the struggle between the father and the son and the mother and the son and the neighbors and the dad, like, dude, it's a big story. It's a big story to tell, and Thomas Jane's character does a great job in doing that in a kind of a freaky way. But, like, I don't want to watch that again, I don't think. Like, maybe once is a good time to experience it, but rewatching for myself, it's too much. It's a one and done. Now, recommend, I'm totally on board. I say definitely watch it. In fact, my wife was running around tossing candy at the kids, and I said, you got to watch this one. This one, it thrilling-wise, great job. Adam, good job on the docket, man. Let's go into our last one. This is the
forgot about drink review.
Penalty. Let's go back to the drink review. Papa Steve, bring us on Lick's Trial.
There was a line in there when they were drinking lemonade. Not too sweet, not too sour, not too sweet. So I'd have some lemonade. I'd throw in a little bit of Tito's.
Was Tito's invented in 1922?
I don't know.
It was a different kind of Tito's.
But it should have been.
It was called Timmy's.
That's when Tito was invented.
Tito, come out here.
Man, ain't nobody named Tito around these parts.
Shock in the water. Wait, no.
He's Colin Quinn. That's why I like this movie.
Colin Quinn.
I mean, not Colin Quinn. Captain Quinn. My bad.
Patrick, bring us down to the liquor store aisle, Patrick.
Yeah, I wanted to use lemonade with vodka, but you kind of just snaked that from me, so that's 2 for 2 on snaking them and
for sure.
slipping it over to Adam on his Colin Quinn.
I'd like to have a Colin Quinn.
Yeah.
Colin Quinn's like a Bush Light.
I just want a wild turkey. I thought it was
all right.
You know,
your dog don't bite.
You know, I like
my dog don't bite.
I like McConaughey's vibe. I like Tom Jane's vibe. I like that. So it's like it's kind of gritty. It's a sip on it. You know, it's enough to keep. It's a harsh drink. It's a good time. So I give it a wild turkey.
Gotcha.
Just for that.
Yeah.
What do you got, Dale?
Everybody stole everything. I was a bourbon with no ice. Just give me a warm bourbon, because if you watch the movie, he needs something warm.
I imagine the wild turkey with no ice.
Okay, good. So we're on the same thing.
Yes.
It's a sipper. You can't take too much of it, but you know the drink still got oomph. But let's move on to our last one, man. It's The Founder, 2016 film, 7.2 IMDb, biography, drama, history.
I knew that was going to happen.
God. Why'd you say anything, Patrick?
Patrick, not warning me on my own fair side.
The trailer's going.
The Weinstein Company.
Over the hill.
Oh, boy.
Milkshake machine salesman.
So
Built
that's
a fast food empire
Michael
with
Keaton?
1,600 restaurants and an annual revenue of $700 million. One word: persistence.
Prince Castle Sales.
It's boats.
It's good. Swell. A lot of interest.
We got an order. 6 mixers.
To anyone in particular?
McDonald's.
Care for a little tour? We wanted something different, and that's when my brother
Nick
here comes up with one of his brilliant ideas.
Orders ready in 30 seconds, not 30 minutes.
Unique, original. There's nothing like this.
It's revolutionary.
It's exactly what it is. It's revolutionary.
His wife is from Jurassic Park. Mom
It's a way
kept
to make
going.
the place stand out.
There should be McDonald's everywhere. Franchise the damn thing.
Mr. Krog.
Franchise, franchise, franchise.
McDonald's can be the new American church. And it ain't just open on Sundays, boys.
I am flesh and I am bone. Rise up, ting ting like glitter and gold.
How can we be almost out of capital?
Did you mortgage our home? We could lose everything.
I want to renegotiate my lousy deal.
I can't.
Can't or won't?
Ray.
What?
No!
Oh, damn it.
What you ought to be doing is owning the land.
God.
Sorry, guys.
McDonald's can be the new American church. And it ain't just open on Sundays, boys.
I am flesh and I am bone. Rise up, ting ting like glitter and gold.
How can we be almost out of capital?
Did you mortgage our home? We could lose everything.
We'll do it in...
I want to renegotiate my lousy deal.
I can't.
Can't or won't?
Ray.
What?
No!
Oh, damn it.
What you ought to be doing is owning the land upon which that burger is cooked. You're not in the burger business. You're in the real estate business.
Franchise Realty Corporation.
It's its own separate company, which puts it outside your purview.
There's a wolf in the hen house. We let him in.
When's enough gonna be enough for you?
Probably never.
You are to stop this instant.
I am through taking orders from you.
You have a contract.
Contracts are like hearts. They're made to be broken.
Founders.
Business is war. It's dog eat dog, rat eat rat. I want to take the future. I want to win.
The brothers are your business partners.
Make it go away. I don't care what it takes.
That glorious name, McDonald's. I had to have it.
You don't have it.
You sure about that?
The Founder.
So that's The Founder, everybody. The Founder. Let's see. 2016 film, 7.2 IMDb biography, drama history. Hour and 55 minutes with a budget of 25 mil. But it only made what, Patrick? 12 million?
Yeah, sure, whatever. It works.
Patrick's over there just playing in the corner. Yeah, but yeah, gross 12 million, budget 25 million. Correct, Dale. I can collaborate.
Now, this trailer, I thought, really toss it in a bad light.
Yeah, don't watch the trailer.
Yeah. Sorry.
This is a movie you do not want to watch the trailer before you watch it.
No. I think watching the trailer puts you in a different mindset to kind of like watch this film. It kind of skews you the wrong way, but
I think you and me. First of all, I love this movie.
I do too.
I love this movie.
Yeah, it's a great one.
I thought this was a great movie, and I think it strikes people differently. It strikes you and me as awesome. This guy hustled to get this.
Yeah.
Other people, he took advantage of the poor brothers. You and me are like, dude, this guy hustled.
He saw the opportunity.
Yeah.
He took the opportunity.
You texted me, I'm the David Kroc of gaskets.
Right. I'm the Ray Kroc of gaskets.
Ray Kroc, sorry.
Papa Steve, what do you think about this one, man? The Founder.
I loved this movie.
Okay.
I was so jacked after watching this movie.
Why? What got you so high?
This was like, when, well, you don't remember this, but like when like Rocky came out, or like a kung fu movie, everybody pours out of the theater and like starts going to karate school and starts starting fights in the parking lot. Everybody's like, "Fucking hey, man, this is freaking awesome!"
Right?
This was like that for business.
Yeah,
it was like, yes,
we can do it.
I wanted to go out and just.
And as Adam said, I texted these guys twice. I think it was last night I watched this one. I said, I'm the Ray Kroc of gaskets. I'm going to get out there. I'm going to kill it. I
loved it.
I can't wait to get out there and hustle tomorrow.
Was he a jerk? Sure. Did he take advantage of him? Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But, dude, he kicked butt.
Right. Patrick, what about this one, man? The Founder. Did you like it, hate it, love it? What do you think?
When I think of capitalism, this is the movie I think of.
Bingo.
Because he capitalized on what other people weren't capitalizing on.
Right.
And he took it to the next level.
Sure.
So as a whole, when I think of McDonald's, I'm like, oh, great. Saturated fats, disgusting.
Right.
But when I look at the backstory of it, I'm like, this movie is exactly what America was built on.
Right.
When other people aren't capitalizing on what they could be, he capitalized on what they are.
And shame on you for not doing it.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Thank you, Papa Steve. I should be capitalizing on McDonald's right now. I got to open my own franchise.
Why are you here?
What are you waiting for?
Come on.
Good point. I got to take my headphones off.
Good to see you. Good to see you again, Patrick.
I'm going to start a business right now.
Later, Gators. I'm out of here.
No, I thought this one was great, man.
It's a rags to riches story, which who doesn't like that?
Dynamite.
Bingo.
Let's bring it back in. Let's do a quick shot. Michael Keaton. What do you think? How do you think he did? He's an all-star actor. Adam, looking at you. Michael Keaton.
I'm glad you narrowed it down for me. I'm like a nudist in a mosquito collar. I mean, sorry. I screwed that up. But anyway, I got lots of choices. But yeah, Michael Keaton, great.
Yeah, he's good. I mean, he's
I wasn't ready to talk about it, but yes.
Okay.
He's kind of old school. He had a great 50 Chicago
displays,
like harsh, kind of tone to himself.
A resolve,
a hustler resolve.
Sure.
This movie reminded me a lot of
the Region.
The Facebook movie. Did you guys see the Facebook movie?
Yeah, a Social Network.
Yeah, The Social Network. So basically, The Social Network is these two guys, the Winklevoss twins, are like, hey, we got this idea to make an internet social site for everybody at Harvard, and it'd be cool to go on. And basically, Mark Zuckerberg was like, you guys, this could be global. You're idiots. I'm taking it from you, and I'm making it global.
Right.
That's kind of what this movie felt like. It's like, you guys got the best restaurant ever. And like, no, we just want to keep it local, make it ourselves.
Wait,
like,
he's capitalizing on an idea?
Yes. So it's like, it almost, I thought that was amazing that like in the 1950s it happened, and it repeated itself in the Facebook. There's two movies about this, like,
sure,
this guy, and it's kind of cool because McDonald's like, hey, who founded the company? McDonald's? Like, well, it's always like, it's this, there's always, and now it's like, is the story of a restaurant that everybody has eaten at.
Right, sure.
Like, wouldn't you want? It's very interesting.
Oh, of course.
Just like the Facebook,
and
movie,
it's an American tale.
Oh, dude.
which is another thing.
And I love his sales pitch. All his sales pitch had America in it. Like,
right.
It was
Family.
really enjoyed it. But
He was like what he did to hamburgers, what Henry Ford
did to cars.
With the cars.
Sure.
I'm talking about the Michael Keaton character. I love the character. I mean, in the meat of the movie, when he's in with the McDonald's already, and he's and he's building it, and he's being ruthless, and he's taking all these gambles. But I could feel his frustration and
the grit.
The beginning parts where he's
Right.
trying and failing and failing. The beginning, don't I remember you from trying to sell this? Don't I remember you from trying to sell that?
Yeah.
This poor schmuck has been working at it and working at it and working at it.
And that's a crazy story.
I wrote down Dale will love this character because of the rise and falls. Because he was on down on his luck. He finally gets them to the McDonald's brothers let him in. He finally gets going. Oh, you're not making any money. He's got to revamp his business. He's got to he always had to keep going.
And you know what? You talk to any entrepreneur that's been successful, and they'll tell you that 100 times. If I knew then what I know now, I would have never gotten into it because I ran into this. I had to overcome that.
Right.
And then this happened. Then I had to overcome that. I have so much respect for people that do that.
And Ray Kroc started this business on paper, late in life, as opposed to
52.
I mean, he was 52 years old when he started, these franchising of this McDonald's restaurant. So 52. I mean, people are looking potentially into retirement in a few.
Yeah, that's what he says. Yeah,
and he's starting this up from nothing. So, it's a very, I don't know. Let's. So the trailer showed this one as like derogatory towards Ray Kroc. Adam, I'm going to look at you. I thought this was a super positive movie. I mean, I don't know, like it had a very capitalism backing feel to it. What do you think about this one? It's kind of derogatory in the trailer. What do you think?
Well, I agree. I think it's something that you, me, all of us here are familiar with, which is just business. Business is about people. Some people, they make deals to help themselves. Some people want to do what's right for everybody else. Some people are just in it for themselves. I mean, it's just a movie about business. Like, just like in 2011, Adam was only watching movies about spies, if you remember from one of the last podcasts.
The other podcast.
There's another Adam
2 weeks ago
who also loves movies about business. I couldn't watch enough movies about business. The Big Short.
Right.
I put Gold in that category.
Okay.
There's
Definitely.
there's Wolf of Wall Street, just stuff like about that atmosphere.
Right.
It's something.
The Hustler.
It's very human. It is where like competition breathes.
It would be interesting to find out how people like this based on their political standing.
I was kind of trying to avoid that, but I agree with you. It's kind of like it's a Hollywood movie, so they're like, "Oh yeah, look at this guy. He just took advantage of these brothers. Look how much of a jerk he is." I'm like, he made look what he did. He built McDonald's.
He made $600 million a year, at the end of his life. That's what he was.
Dude,
pulling
he
in.
built McDonald's.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, you know what?
It's in 100 countries.
It's an American institution.
Yeah.
Not just American. It's international.
Well, sure, but right, Patrick. I mean, the trailer showed it in a negative light. What do you think about this one? Negative? Did he swindle, or was he more of a hustler? You saw the advantage, he took it. What do you think?
So, these McDonald's brothers were starting off in San Bernardino.
San Bernardino.
Can you? Hey, sorry to interrupt you. Could you back up a little bit? Talk about Michael Keaton, where he was going, how he met the brothers, how it all got started.
So Michael Keaton started off as a milkshake maker salesman. He was
machine salesman.
Yeah, he was trying to sell a milkshake machine to
what could it make 6 at one time or something, right?
And that was a huge deal for him.
Sure.
I
mean, automation.
I loved his sales pitch for that too. Like, demand follows supply. Or no, supply follows demand. Supply, demand. Got it? Got it? Chicken and the egg.
Yeah, exactly. I'm looking at you. You're a smart guy, right? And so the guy's going like, "Oh, I'm a smart guy."
But he kept getting passed up in the beginning of the movie, right? So he was getting passed up by all these drive-in diners.
But he was very persistent.
Persistence is key at this point.
Sure.
So he wasn't selling milkshake makers at the rate he wanted to, and then he got a big deal, 6 milkshake makers at, I think they were like $20 a piece at this point, and when $20 was like
a week salary.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's at some points in this movie, and he owes like $95 to the bank, and he's like trying to bust his balls to trying to sell $75 worth of, or $90 worth of milkshake makers just to make his mortgage. And then the McDonald's brothers are having such a huge business in San Bernardino. And like, wow, $95. Oh, that's a huge profit margin for me. So he calls them up. He's like, why do you guys want 6? And he's like, no, we don't want 6. We want 8.
Right.
And so that like tripled his profit for that month. And so he goes back. He does a face-to-face deal with them. He's like, he wants to take them out to dinner. Wants to see.
And he's amazed by their restaurant.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's the automation. It's how they.
It was the first fast food restaurant.
Well, and then what did they call it? The fast track. It was called like a fast track kitchen or something like that.
Yeah. Like, and it was
kitchen.
the Speedy Kitchen.
Speedy track or whatever it was. It was an automated. It was a timed kitchen. Yeah.
So Michael Keaton goes out. He sees why they're doing $15 cents a burger in 1950s-ish area.
Well, and then the
54,
real thing is it was in 30 seconds, not 30 minutes. So, I mean,
He was going to restaurants all over the country, and it'd take him a half hour to, at a drive-in diner back in the 50s, apparently.
right.
It took you a half hour to get the food you wanted.
And they screwed up your order.
And they always screw up your order. There's always riff-raff and teenagers and all this stuff. So if you want to get a good burger...
jukeboxes.
Yeah, if you want to get a good
Right.
burger, it took you a half hour and you had to deal with all this crap.
And McDonald's was all about quality control, and the brothers were all about,
And McDonald's is all about, you order a burger, I'll have it to you in 30 seconds.
right. It was all like we want all
That was
those.
it was the first fast food to your
Right.
face.
All burgers are the same. Everything's the same. That makes the fries the same. They all wanted that consistency.
So that's the story of McDonald's and how that got started.
Sure.
Movie-wise, what did you think about the film?
I mean, I thought this one visually looked, on par. I mean, it looked good. It kept it going. Story-wise, it kept flying right along. I didn't think anything was slow or anything like that. Papa Steve, slow it all for you? I don't think so.
Not at all.
Okay.
I think it flew by.
Story kept moving.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's because of the cinema part of it,
Yeah.
or because of the story part of it. But I thought the Michael Keaton character was great. I love the brothers. They worked out great. Some of the partners and so forth that that he interacted with. Were
Right.
good characters. They were believable. The wife. The kind of the struggle going on with her. I thought it was, story wise, I think it was the drama part. I think was cool.
So the main character, Ray Kroc, the movie kind of builds in the sense that like 1950s, you had to wait a half hour to get your food, but the movie builds in the same sense that it took your order half an hour, 20 minutes to half an hour to get your actual order at a drive-in. So when I think about that and I think about this movie, it kind of correlates because the movie slowly builds and then it takes off. So I pull into a drive-in in 1940 or 1950, and I'm placing my order, and then it waits, wait, and then I finally get my order, and this movie takes off in the same sense that I ordered the Founders, and then when I finally get it, I'm like, oh, whoa, and the movie keeps building because it takes off towards the end. So it's a slow build, takes
That's
off.
true.
And this movie was so well done. I couldn't believe how well it was done. Don't mean to repeat myself, but the movie takes off in the sense that after I order what I'm getting, and then I get what I'm getting, and then it's above what I expected.
Off. Yeah, right. I see what you're saying.
Like the business took off.
Adam, what about you, man? I mean, this one pay off for you? I mean, all the things involved.
Yes. I always say that really good movies that are in the 7s in IMDb have memorable moments. And there's probably at least 3 or 4 memorable moments in this movie. You got the memorable moment for me, number 1, is when the McDonald's brothers are telling their story.
Sure.
Amazing scene.
Right.
Telling how they built McDonald's.
Right.
That's,
and the automation.
They're at dinner
writing it out.
And how much, it was awesome. And then another part is when I kind of looked at you during the trailer is when the business partner, he comes in and he goes, you're not selling burgers, you need to be in the real estate business. That was another big, I don't want to talk too much about it for a reveal, but
I think they're still the biggest real estate.
Yeah.
I think they make more money on real estate.
What did the end of the film say? That they own 1% of restaurant space?
People, no, 1% of the entire population of the earth is fed by McDonald's.
1%, yeah.
1% of the earth is fed by McDonald's each day.
That's incredible.
Yeah, but anyway, so there's at least 3 or 4 moments in the film, and then at the end when he's in the bathroom talking to Nick Offerman, that's a fantastic scene. That's you still don't get it, dude. That's just that was so there's a lot of moments in this movie where I almost wanted to go back and watch them. Because there was like 3 or 4 scenes that were just so good, I had to go back and watch it. So that's why this movie really stands out for me.
And so I don't know if you guys remember John Carroll Lynch from The Invitation.
Right.
So he's the same guy.
Another Netflix film we watched.
Yeah. So he's the same guy that plays one of the McDonald's brothers. So he's in this movie. But from what I read, he's the one who memorized every line of this film as like a play, so he could
visually act it.
Yeah, so he could visually act it back to the entirety of where he was part of the film. So he memorized it like a play. Then he reread his lines in the movie, which is why I think John Carroll Lynch, he was a B actor in The Invitation,
right?
But in this movie, I
call him a lead role.
Indefinitely.
Yeah.
Or definitely.
Right.
As an A-list actor for this role. Nick Offerman, A.
Michael
Keaton, A. This movie was so above what I expected.
Right.
That all of those actors got escalated to A-list celebrities for me, for movies, for Netflix.
You're exactly right, man. We had a handful of people bumping up to the A level. This was a dynamite film. I mean, beginning to end, I love this one. Let's stop. We'll go off what Adam said on rewatch and recommend. I'll start us off. I mean, rewatch. I really want to revisit this one. I'll rewatch it with anybody. I'll rewatch it myself if I got a spare second, because I think I would love to dive back into the film itself visually and kind of pull stuff out that I didn't see on initial watching. And then recommend, I would definitely send it to anybody else. I mean, this is a fantastic tale of an American entrepreneur finding an opportunity, and I don't want to use the word exploiting it because that's got a negative connotation, but he used
built upon.
He built upon this was placed in his lap, and he took advantage of a fantastic opportunity, and it's inspiring. As a small business owner myself, I welled up with just American pride. I mean, I thought it was fantastic. I'm looking at Papa Steve, an entrepreneur in his own right. What do you think about this one, man? Rewatch, recommend. What do you think, Papa Steve?
Yep, I would rewatch it and I would recommend it. I thought it was a fantastic movie, and I agree with everything you said. It's an American story. It goes with Thomas Edison and Henry Ford and all of the giants of, the American industry and technology.
Awesome. And Patrick, what do you think, man? Rewatch and recommend.
Yeah, I couldn't build more on Michael Keaton's character because this is pre-Birdman. This was, I believe, the year before he did Birdman, which was a great Michael Keaton film.
Right.
This was just above and beyond what I could expect from Michael Keaton. From Michael Keaton Batman to Michael Keaton Birdman.
Right. Yeah. Just 20-year...
right
20...
up to the top. Right up to the top with him. He did a spectacular job. I might put this movie above Birdman, but only because Birdman was filmed in such a way, I would have to put The Founders below it.
Okay.
But Michael Keaton played his role well. Nick Offerman played it above and beyond. John Carroll Lynch above and beyond. This movie easily is probably the best movie of the week for me.
So it's a rewatchable for you? Is it a recommend?
Definitely and definitely.
Okay. And Adam, rewatch, recommend.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't hammer it home any better than you guys just did. Yes, recommend, rewatch. Yes, it's a slam dunk. Everyone's going to enjoy it. Go out and watch it. It's awesome. America, awesome.
Okay.
So going down the drink aisle,
Yeah.
I'm going to give this one a Maker's 46.
46. What a great one.
Yes, not just your average Maker's Mark. This
Sure.
is a Maker's Mark's 46. So it's really good. Really, it's you get a Maker's
Full
40
flavor.
You get if we have Maker's 46 right now,
I'll pull your drink,
dude. I might stay here all night and just drink Maker's 46.
Oh, we're gonna go get some.
Yep. All right.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
No, I'm. Here's what I got. This is something. I mean, we're gonna get a little personal here. This is called. This drink I got is called a kamikaze, and what they touch on in the movie is, you know, like the drink. They talk about soft drinks a little bit and how they, you know, get on board with like what drinks they're gonna put in the restaurant for a little bit. But I thought about this as like a kamikaze, which was when I was younger, you'd go to a fast food restaurant and you get all the drinks. Like you just go through
on the drink fountain.
Yeah, you go to the fountain and you get all the drinks.
Yes.
And like that, it was like super cool and it was like super exciting, and you were like crazy. You were like, hey, look at that guy go. He'd get all the drinks. Like you're wild, but like I was the only guy doing that, and it was like kind of funny, but it was super delicious.
No, I remember. I started doing it because of you, and I
Okay.
introduced it to other people because of you.
Well, good. See, like that's the thing. Like maybe this movie struck me differently than everybody else, and maybe a kamikaze drink where you take all of the pops on the soda fountain and on the pop fountain, wherever you're from, like your dialect, soda, pop. Either way, you take them all in, and it's exciting and it's different, and I'm the only guy doing it. And like that's kind of what this character did. He just took this, and he was the only one who kind of took it and ran with it, and it shows today. Papa Steve, what about bringing us down the liquor store aisle?
Well, my first stop, of course, would stop at a McDonald's and get a shake.
Oh yeah,
duh.
And then I'd put maybe a little rum in there.
Okay.
Maybe a little bourbon.
This one's for the crock.
You know, and just sort of like, you know what? This one's for you, Ray. Supersize me.
Here's to you. Patrick, can you bring us down the liquor store aisle for this one?
I can't take it down the liquor store aisle because this takes a few different ingredients. So this is, when I go to a bar, I order a B52.
Okay.
It's got like a coffee liqueur in it. It's got just a little bit of Irish Jameson in it. It's got a little bit of fire on top of it. So the bartender will light it on fire for you, and you got to be decisive if you're going to drink it with the fire or without. Risk and reward. And Ray Clark just took it with the risk,
Boom.
shoot it, blew out the fire before it hit his lips, and just let it go, and it boomed into this huge industry, and it was beautiful the entire time, and he made, what'd you say, $6 billion a day?
Well, he's making $6 million a year.
$6 million,
He was
Jeff Bezos.
$700 million a year.
Really?
In the 60s.
That's real money.
That's real money.
That's unbelievable. Well, tell you what, guys, we got to get off the fence on this one. We got Benchwarmers. We got 1922. We got The Founder. Adam, looking at you. Movie of the week.
Founder.
Papa Steve, movie of the week.
It's Founder.
Patrick, across the table, brother. The Founder, 1922, or Benchwarmers.
Bench Founders. No, actually, Founders.
Okay.
Founders.
All right.
Fist fight in the park.
You know what? I'm on board with you guys. It's The Founder. Although 1922 is tough.
Unanimous.
It's a good one. Listen, guys, we're on Facebook. You guys want to connect with us? Hop on Facebook, search the Netflix Explorers, hop online, go to the 1890studios.com. That's 1890studios.com. A little easy for you to say. We're on Twitter also at TheNetX, NETEX, if you want to connect with us there. We're on iTunes. We're with Apple. We're hooked up with Apple. Find us, subscribe, and rate us if you could. I got to say, Papa Steve, thanks again for being a record-breaking guest on the podcast, man. Good to have you.
Thank you so much, guys. It's a pleasure to be with you. I enjoyed it.
Awesome. Patrick, good to see you across the table, brother.
Dude, the Podfather Part 3.
Oh,
The Founders.
I like it.
Beautiful.
Nice work. AP, looking across at you, man.
Hey, man, looking right back at you. Just want to let everyone know that's how you make a docket. So
nice
take that
work.
with you.
Nice job, too, by the way.
The docket master has been brought back.
Indeed.
Great picks this week, man. It's been a tough choice. I mean, Benchwarmers, good, sentimental, funny, hilarious. 1922 rocked me in a horror way that I never thought I could. Great film. The Founder. Didn't know I liked Michael Keaton as much as I did today, but apparently I do. Great film. Nice work. Good to have you on the podcast, man.
Great to have you in my life.
And nice work with the megaphone as always. Hey, guys, we're the Netflix Explorers. We got to say adios, and we got to say so long, and again, adios.
Arrivederci.
Konnichiwa.
Something in Italian, goodbye.
That was arrivederci. God, you ruined the whole thing. All right, just close the podcast.
I got a haircut because my hair gets really long, and then like. All right, yeah, sorry. Stupid start to the story.